In this video, we're talking about run flat tires. I'm going to briefly explain what they are in case you're not familiar with them. I'm going to give you the pros and mostly the cons of run flat tires, and then I'm going to give you 3 much better alternatives for cars like BMWs that come equipped with run flat tires from the factory. Run flat tires, just like the name suggests, are tires that can run even when they're flat, so the sidewall is designed to be extra thick to be able to support the weight of the car even if the tire completely loses air pressure. Although BMW isn't the only brand to equip their cars with run flat tires from the factory, they're definitely one of the biggest offenders here. The main benefit of run flat tires is to be able to keep driving on your journey. Even if you get a flat tire, you get a tire puncture. Most run flat tires are rated for up to 50 miles per hour for a distance of up to 50 miles, even on a flat, so you could just continue driving right to the dealership or your local tire shop as though nothing happened. Run flat tires also eliminate the need for a spare tire, which saves a little bit of weight and also helps keep the car's center of gravity lower. In theory, run flats seem like a really good idea, but unfortunately they're far from perfect. Since the sidewall has to be extra thick to be able to support the weight of your car even without air pressure, it doesn't absorb bumps in the road nearly as well as a standard tire would. I think people often forget that tires are a huge role in your car suspension and overall ride comfort. Run flats tend to be noisier than standard tires. They're far more expensive to replace, and you have to replace them more often, so you're paying more money more frequently for replacements. They're even heavier than standard tires, so like I was saying earlier about saving a little bit of weight from not having a spare, with the run flats you're actually adding a lot of unsprung weight to your wheels, which can actually hurt performance in some ways. I bought my BMW used with really low miles, and so it still had the original run flats that came from the factory, and I distinctly remember how noisy and how harsh the ride was. It didn't exactly scream quality the way that I would expect from a car like BMW. So after a few bone-rattling months of driving on Michigan roads with these run flat tires, I finally switched over to a set of just regular standard tires, and honestly the difference in the ride comfort, the noise reduction, it was just night and day. And honestly I can say with confidence that switching to these standard tires was the single biggest improvement that I've made to my car. So you want to switch over to standard tires, but cars like BMWs that come with run flats, they usually don't come with a spare tire, so what do? So here are 3 alternatives to ditching your run flat tires. The first option is to just buy a spare tire. Spare tires have been included with cars for decades, and it's really a foolproof way to be able to get back on the road and continue on your journey without having to rely on a tow truck to come pick you up. The downside to spare tires on cars like BMWs that don't really designate a space for them is it's going to take up your whole trunk pretty much. You have your spare tire, you have your jack and jack stands, you have the tool to be able to take the lugs off. It's going to fill up your whole trunk, so for you personally, depending on how often you use your trunk, keeping a full-size spare in there might not be an option for you. The next alternative is to keep an air compressor and a tire repair kit in your car. Now this is a really great option because it hardly takes up any space and it doesn't really add any weight to your car the way that a full-size spare tire would. It's just kind of out of sight and out of mind until you need it. So I got both the tire repair kit and the air compressor for under $50 on Amazon. I'll link those down below in case you're interested. And the nice thing about this particular compressor, it's really small and it actually plugs into your car's cigarette lighter, so you don't have to have like an extension cord. You don't have to be, you don't have to like plug it into the wall in your house. Anywhere you are on the road, you can just plug it into your car and you're good to go. So the last alternative is to simply add roadside assistance onto your car insurance. This is something that my insurance agent recommended to me last year, and it was so inexpensive that for me it just didn't make sense to not add it on, so I ended up getting that on my policy. Now when it comes to car insurance, it's going to vary a lot based on where you live, but it doesn't hurt to just contact your insurance company and just ask how much it would be to add roadside assistance to your insurance policy. So I was just talking to my friend the other day about this whole flat tire situation, and we came to the conclusion that we've each been driving for just over 10 years, and out of 10 years of driving, we've only got flat tires on 2 separate occasions. So if you think about the odds of that, like 3,600 days of driving and to only get 2 flat tires, the odds of it happening are just extremely low. Maybe we're just lucky, I don't know, but that's what we came to the conclusion on that. So when it comes to these run flat tires, you're just gonna have to ask yourself, is the really high cost of tire replacement combined with the daily ride discomfort really worth that tiny chance that you're gonna get a flat? That's gonna be up for you to decide. To me, it would be like if you lived in the desert and you wore like a heavy rubber raincoat every day just in case it rains. Now obviously eventually it's going to rain in the desert, but until that day comes, you're going to be hot, you're going to be miserable. So again, with these run flats, you just have to decide if it's worth it for you. So I want to hear from you guys. If your car came with run flats, are you still running them? Have you switched over to standard tires? And if so, what has been your solution? Are you keeping a spare tire in the trunk? Do you have a tire inflation kit? Let me know in the comments what you guys are doing. So that's it for this video. Give me a thumbs up if you found it informative. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video.